in terms of where the drill rig would go next, that drill would go towards drilling some more holes in the Delamar resource itself. That's classic. That's beautiful.
Thanks, buddy.
That's the reality that we live in right now, Trevor.
Right. That's
it. It doesn't get much better than that.
That was my mini-me bringing in a nice painting he just did.
That's great. That's awesome. And then as we wait for the snow to melt and the drill permits to come, that rig will then move into the Milestone, Georgiana area, that whole highly prospective area that's northwest of Delamar itself. We don't have to wait for a lot of snow to melt. It hasn't been a particularly snowy winter, which is good news out there. And so we feel that we can get into there. So that will likely be the next target. And then all of this sort of leads up to my favorite part of the program to come, which is getting that drill rig back into action at Florida, because I really think that there's a lot of exciting stuff to be done there. The best is yet to come. In terms of the sort of general market, certainly things are feeling better. Looking back to the 2008 crisis, gold performed exactly the way it's performing right now. If you remember in 08, the gold price itself was kind of hanging in there, but the gold equities were getting punished. And that's kind of what we've been experiencing for the last couple of weeks here in this pandemic trade. I think ultimately, the gold equities, depending on whether they have cash to survive the storm, which we do, will do extremely well. And I think all that's going to be great for gold. I think, from gold, you'll get to the gold equities. People will jump into the producers, certainly those that are cashed up and with great margins. And all those companies, by the way, who did their reserve plans at the beginning of the year at $1,250 gold are going to love $1,500 gold. They're going to love $1,700 gold. They might even love $2,000 gold. And they're going to love the fact that their biggest cost input in their mining operations is based on oil and the price of oil. And so they're going to enjoy the benefits of that. You'll see companies, I think, once things get sort of back to the new normal of operations, they'll be printing money. And so you'll see investors flock to those. And then, obviously there's a trickle down effect from there. And so where do people go next? They go to the mid-tiers and the junior producers, then they go to the emerging companies, the emerging producers like Integra, people with assets, hard assets in the ground that can be developed, that these major mining companies are ultimately going to look for to refill their pipelines.
Well, George, unfortunately, that's all good news to me. I hate to say it. So
it's sad, though. It's sad that our industry does sadly thrive on this misfortune that has hit us all. But I mean, it's the reality.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Gold is performing exactly the way it's supposed to right now, and it's going to fly. There's no question.